Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth from Primary Pickles here. I did not spend a lot of time in my classroom today because we had meetings all day, which was actually really productive. They were fantastic meetings, so I'm super excited about them. But I did get my desk arranged. So I've kind of got this horseshoe with stuff in the middle action going on. It's really nice because I can walk around everywhere. We just got iPads, so that'll be super nice for doing that. So that's really all I got done today. But I wanted to film a quick video about my classroom economy because I've had some questions about it and I want to clear up a few things because some of the things just sounded not quite right in the video. So my classroom economy, my kids earn Starbucks. They earn money for doing their classroom jobs, and you can see my classroom jobs video in my playlist. If you go over there, there's a whole thing about my jobs that we have in our classroom. And so I'll just go through the whole system. On Fridays, they get a paycheck of 10 Starbucks if they did their job. If they didn't do their job, then they don't get paid, and that's how it is. So they have a little ledger that they fill out. So I just filled out an example one. So on payday, so the date, today's the 6th, I just used today. Payday, it's a credit of $10 Starbucks, so they have a balance of 10. On Monday, rent is due. Rent is 8 Starbucks, and the balance would be 2. They don't do this with every single transaction, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. But my students do have to pay rent for their desk and for their chair. The chair is 4 Starbucks. The desk is 4 Starbucks. And yes, I did have students last year that lost their chair and lost their desk. As soon as they have enough money to pay for it, then they can buy it back, no problem. They can borrow money from someone else. So say student A borrowed from student B would decide how they get paid back. So do they get paid back in Starbucks? Do they get paid back in acts of service, like stacking your chair, packing up your bag? That student gets to decide. Or they can just be without their chair and their desk for as long as they need to, and they can still access their desk, and we don't spend a lot of time at our desk, so it's not a huge deal. But it only happened a few times last year, and then the kids learn, and I didn't have any parent issues ever with it. Parents loved it. They really liked the system. It really helped teach kind of real world ideas, like if you can't pay rent, if you don't keep your job and you can't pay rent, then you're not going to have a home. And so better learn that now in first grade than when you're an adult. So after payday, they are allowed to buy coupons, and I just have these cute little ones. There's a whole bunch that they can pick from, and I can link the person that I bought these from on TPT, but there's just cute little coupons. They are 2 Starbucks each, and I have to tell the kids, you know, make sure that you think about it before you buy all your stuff, because if you buy a lot of coupons but then you don't have a desk, well, you can't really use your coupons. And they also, usually they will count out their money before they even come up to me. They'll say, okay, I need to have 8 for Monday for rent, so I'll count out 8 Starbucks and I will put those aside, and then, oh look, I have 6 left over that I can use for coupons. So that's how they do that kind of system. Now, how do students earn money? They earn money from their paycheck. That's 10 Starbucks. So pretty much they have to do their job every week if they want to be able to pay rent. They can earn it from compliments. So if we're in the hallway and they're doing a really great job and another teacher comes by and says, hey, your class looks so nice right now, that's a compliment. Everybody gets 2 Starbucks. Sometimes if I'm walking around and I know some people working really hard, I'll give them a Starbucks. They are never, ever tied to grades, ever, or towards any kind of academic achievement. You never get a Starbucks for getting 100 on your spelling test. It's never like that. That would not be a great system to have in a first grade classroom. So it's never tied to academic achievement. They can also earn money by doing a good job in specials. During our specials, they get a 4, 3, 2, or 1. So if they get a 4, they get 2 Starbucks. If they get a 3, they get 1 Starbucks. And then 2 or 1, if they get a 1, they owe me money. They owe me 2 Starbucks. It rarely happens, so that's not an issue. Now, what do my students need to pay for? My students have to pay for their replacement supplies. So I will always give them what they need at the start. So at the beginning of the year, they'll have their desk drawers, They will have their crayons, markers, pencils, scissors, erasers, everything. I will make sure that everybody has what they need. And then in this little organizer thing that I have here, I will keep their extra supplies, and if they need, so if your number is 5 and you need something extra, I'll come over and get it from your thing, and that way I kind of know who's using their supplies in a good way. They have to pay to use the bathroom. Now, I had some questions about this saying like, well, your kids have to pay to go to the bathroom. That's not entirely true. I teach first grade, so we take several bathroom breaks throughout the day. We always take one in the morning, and we always take one in the afternoon. They can take one during lunchtime for free. So those 3 times, morning, lunch, afternoon, are free. They do not have to pay to use the restroom during that time. Anytime that I'm doing instruction or they're in specials, the specials teachers know about it too, or we're doing something in the classroom, they will have to pay 1 Starbucks. Now, I had a question about like medical needs. Obviously, if there was a student who had a medical issue, I'm not going to keep them from using the restroom. I would never keep a kid from using the restroom. And I don't think I ever had an issue with it because my kids were really mindful of it. They were like, oh man, I need to keep money so that I can use the restroom later. Like, oh, I need to keep money because I am talking too much. So they do become very mindful of it. And if a student had a 504 or something where they needed to be able to use the restroom without question, that would be between me and the student. So I wouldn't really worry about that. And if that happens, then I'll figure something out there. But it was never an issue for my kids to use the restroom. We have kind of like citations. So I only had to use a couple of these last year. But if you run out of money, and you're out of coupons, and you're out of everything, then you get a citation. So it just says, uh-oh, someone was caught, being disrespectful, speeding, like running in the hallway, losing their work consistently over and over and over again. It was a huge issue last year. My kids were, so my camera cut off just now. But I think I was talking about citations. So I only had to use these a couple times last year. My kids lost papers like it was nobody's business, and they really rushed through their work. They thought, oh, I have to be the first one done so I can, oh, I look so smart if I'm the first one done, but then their work was really sloppy. There was erase marks all over it. It was not something that they would be proud of. It's not something I was proud of. It's not something that I felt okay sending home with them. So if they did that to a paper, they would have to replace it. It's a 1 Starbucks to replace it. And so if they had all these, I would send it home. Parent signs it, they come back, and then we kind of have a discussion about it. Like I said, I only had to use it a couple times last year because my kids took the money system really seriously. I really didn't have any problems with it. It was probably the best thing I did last year, and it was really the most impactful lesson that I taught all year because they didn't take me seriously at first when I said I would take away their chair and their desk, and then some of them tested me and I took away their chair and their desk, and it never happened again. And the parents were actually really grateful for it, and they loved it. They thought it was kind of funny and kind of really important for them to learn at this age. And so if you have any questions about how it works, please let me know. I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's really, really important to teach kids financial literacy at this age, just so they can be more mindful of it when they actually get real money, when it really counts. And just, I completely forgot, but to store them, last year we made these like little paper wallets, which were really cute. But this year I'm using these little snap containers from the Dollar Tree. I bought like all of them in our city, and the Starbucks fit perfectly in there. They can also fit their little coupons in here to stay safe, and then they can just keep it in their desks. There's no reason for them to be out unless we're using the money at that time. And I think the other thing I really liked about the Starbucks system is that the kids were super honest about it. Like if they found money